I was just talking to Patreon because remember, when you join Patreon, you actually get to see the behind the scenes footage of this episode. Whereas on Mondays, the mini-sodes are on YouTube. The full episode footage is on Patreon. So hey y'all on Patreon. We was just having a little chitty chat before I got started. But y'all ever had sex so good that you high five after? Like that shit be so lit. You're so excited you just have to like high five or hug. This one time I was having sex and the, we were using toys and the light on the toy lit up the nigga face. Like he looked like a fucking sorcerer. That shit was so lit. And I was just like, just coming all over the place. And then afterwards we high fived and hugged. That was a great time. If you're not high fiving after sex, you ain't doing it right. I'm just saying. And those toys, some of those toys I got from Blessa. So head on, we going straight off the breaks. Right now, at the time of recording, it is 8 o'clock in the morning. And yes, I'm talking about dick at 8 o'clock in the morning. Because that dick was so bomb that we high-fived after. You know? It's what a great time. Anyway, head on over to Blessa and use code BB2S1P nuts. Baby, I was just like all over the place. You know, like you are just so in the moment that you trying to grab. Like sometimes you grab the sheet, maybe you grab him or her or them, but you just start grabbing yourself because you just don't even know where the fuck to put your hands. You're just like, I gotta contain all this excitement. Sorry, y'all. I definitely just slapped the mic. For those of you watching on Patreon, because we already talked about it. We talked about this mic stuff. I don't gotta. If you want to know what I'm talking about, then y'all should head on over to Patreon. Wow, Patreon / two scrippers one pole. There are 3 tiers. We just getting the announcements out of the way before I get into the flow. Because I've been writing it down. Because if you are A1 day one, quite literally, in the first episode, me and Tori were talking about how my notes be all over the place. I'm going to just give you a little update. That has not changed. I have several sheets of paper everywhere, sticky notes, notebooks. I have like 15 different notepads. I have sticky notes everywhere. I have my sketchbook. Like everything is all over the place. I have 2 big ass calendars. I don't know why I can't just, I'm working on trying to keep one source of like written files because I'm definitely a kinesthetic learner, so I'll be writing and that helps me. And then even in my phone and my iPad, like all my devices, my notes, I started folders. I started putting like actually utilizing the title so I know, okay, this is here. So for the most part, like when I do the reels and stuff, like I have my preset reel description so that I can just like kind of copy and paste it in there. Not like the first description, but the second description where it's like, oh, 2 scripters, 1 poll, the podcast, da, 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 da. That whole part, I have like the different variations of that. And then I have like, when a thought just pops up, I'm like, oh, I gotta get it down. So I just open up the nearest thing, and then I be trying to listen and take notes at the same time. So then when I go back to my notes, I'm like, what the fuck did this even mean? But I say all that to say, I am working on it, okay? One step at a time. I was talking about Patreon. That's what I was doing. So on Patreon, there's 3 different tiers. There's a house fee, which is only $3.33. And in that tier, you get to see the behind the scenes poll play clips that I'm looking at the camera. Well, I'm looking at the camera, but I'm talking to y'all because if you're in Patreon, you already read through this and saw this. Hey, welcome. I don't know what tier you're in, but we're glad you're here. So for my listeners, if you haven't hopped on the Patreon tip yet, which at the time of this recording, I'm all by myself. I can't really sing. And I don't want to be all by myself. So if you got $3.33 a month, come on over to the house fee tier and you get like the behind the scenes poll play footage for the reels, which I'm actually very upset because I didn't get my camera angles right. So I did all that recording of the different outfits and I can't even use the initial I can't even use the footage from that video because I didn't like the camera angles and the camera. Yeah, I was just like, damn. So the reels that went with this episode, they're not, the behind the scenes footage is up there. So you literally get like exclusive poll video. I'm just saying. And then there's one bonus audio clip in there, but eventually I'll start adding more. And then you get to see the full episode of this episode, all the Thursday episodes. And then if you join the main stage, which is $4.44 a month, you get all of that plus a bonus video, which I've decided, well, me and Tori, when we first started it, so if you're new here, 2 scripters, 1 poll, because I've been getting, hey y'all, welcome, thank you for the people who have been supporting, thank you for the new support. 2 scripters, 1 poll was originally with me and my friend Tori, but she had to step down and I took it over, and so now it's just me and my rotational hosts. Hey y'all, Tao, Simone, and Juan. I miss them because grad school been grad schooling, y'all. Oh my god, but I'm gonna get into that. I gotta finish this first. But yeah, anyway, I said all that to say we had started a toy talk series, but it was only the one. But now I'm back and I got some toys to talk about because child, I wish like I could transfer the image I'm looking at right now, because when I say like literally his face was lit up, his face was lit up, and the toy, like he was like in there doing surgery on a pussy. It was crazy. Anyway, but in a good way. Like it wasn't like scary surgery. It was like, oh yeah, flashbacks. Toy talk. So that's gonna be one of the segments in the main stage. And then for the third tier, the top tier, the motherfucking champagne room, 1111. Yeah, I'm that girl. You get everything I just talked about, and then extra bonus stuff. So like tutorials, like so. The routine that I taught at my workshop. Thanks again to those who came. If you can't make it to a workshop, then you can come here and see some of the tutorials. You get voting power. So once this thing really blows up, because we blowing up, y'all, and that's all thanks to y'all. We getting there. So once this blows up and we start having events, or maybe like, well, I need to take a break because bitches be tired, and I need to do like, you know, maybe I'll rerun some episodes. Y'all get to vote on shit. So help a sister out. And you'll get early access to events when I start having events, because baby, the wheels just keep on earning. I had to start humming because I don't really remember the words, but like I know the tone. Anyway. And then a segment that I decided to do was Tales of a Sensual Dom. So that'll be just like stories about my journey as I am leaping into the kink world. And y'all, I'm having so much fun. The play party that I went to, so there was a pole there. I didn't know. It was my first time. I didn't know that there was going to be a pole there. So I was super excited. And I was the only person there who knew how to use it. So it was like I had went up to test it, and I was just kind of like doing whatever. And then when I came down, everybody started clapping for me, and I was like, oh shit, like that was awkward, because I almost forgot that people were there watching me. And in my head, I was like, I look a hot ass mess. What am I doing? And then I came down, everyone was like, oh. So that was a nice moment. I want to say a different word besides nice, because I feel like nice isn't what I'm trying to say. You know what? Let me, thesaurus.com has become my best fucking friend, because the work, let me see, nice. Let's type it in. Synonyms for nice. Okay, but nice is like likable, agreeable, and I'm not really trying to say that. Maybe I'm trying to say surreal. Let's look it up. Surreal is dreamlike. Yeah, okay. So it was like a very surreal experience in a nice way. That's thesaurus.com. I need to get a sponsorship. Y'all, I gotta cross out some of these because I can be repetitive at times. And so I just want to make sure I'm touching on all the things that I be saying, right? Broccoli, let me see. I did Patreon already. Y'all hear that? Y'all hear that? That's my pen. That's a little ASMR for you. Hey, big sexy. You want me to squirt on that dick? That was crazy. I hope there's no children listening. But yeah, so as like a sensual dom, I'll just talk about that a little bit. I'm focusing on the senses, so touch, taste. Why do I always forget this? I wrote it down somewhere because you would think that I know this, but sometimes I just be forgetting. But you know the shit, the taste, the scent, the taste. Hold on, taste, scent, sight, visual, touch. Was that 5? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, it's 5. Yeah, it's 5 senses. So that, so my specializations, right? What does it mean? So I was doing research and I was trying to figure out like what kind of things I'm into, right? So some of the things that would like fall under that would be like breath play, wax play, electro play, sensory deprivation. Oralism is the it's the arousal through sound. So like ASMR, you like that, daddy? You like when I scratch you? You like when I bite you? When I bite you, that's adaxilagnia. I don't know, Odaxelagnia. But if you like when I bite you, you got your turn to on by that. That's me biting you, but like with extra oomph. Anyway, but yeah, if you want to learn more about that, come on over to Patreon, or feel free to ask me questions about that. At the play party, y'all, tell me why. I was doing this scene, right? And I was playing with this toy. And I'm giving y'all a preview because this is the type of shit that y'all gonna get in Patreon. But I was talking about it in the mini-sode this week. So if you haven't watched the mini-sode, go and watch the mini-sode after this. But I was talking about, I was gonna tell y'all a little something. So this is the type of stuff y'all gonna get in Patreon. So I'm giving it to y'all for free. I'm giving y'all, this is like a trial episode. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, but I was in this scene, and tell me why I squirted 3 times, right? But the gag is, like, I didn't realize that my shoes were underneath the table that I was sitting on, like directly under the pathway of squirt. So when I jumped down from the table and I put my shoes on, my feet were soggy as fuck. I was so fucking mad. I couldn't wear my shoes for the rest of the night because it was just like when I walked. It was crazy. Anyway. So, Broccoli City. Ghetto. Absolutely ghetto. That was my first time going to Broccoli City, and I don't know. Well, okay. I would go back, but my stipulations for going back would be I have to see the lineup first, because I was supposed to go to Broccoli City back in 2020, but you already know how that went. Like, the world shut down and they canceled it. And then I think I had asked for the refund. I didn't want to wait and have my ticket applicable, however the fuck you want to say it. I'm going to say it how it comes out. Send corrections to 2scripters1pole@gmail.com. Nicely though, don't be in it. Bitch, you stupid, you said da 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 da. Like, dang, chill. People be making mistakes, all right? Fucking. Anyway, I'm drinking. I love yogi tea because of the quotes, and so today's quote is "Trust creates peace," and that is so true. Like, if you just put trust in yourself, if you put trust in the universe, you will be so at ease. Like. And of course, it's easier said than done, and it's just like, what does that even mean? The bills be billing, like, people be stressing you out. You got responsibilities, whether that's school, that's other people. Like, just trying to take care of yourself. Life is hard, but if there's something that you want to do, listen to yourself. Like, this, a year ago, and you know, like I said, I don't want to be too repetitive, but I just really need y'all to understand that this time last year, what are we, July 19th, like, I was still recovering mentally and emotionally from a very, like, serious breakup. I was living with my mom, and I was contemplating going back to teaching, which was, if you know that, like, teaching, I've talked about it here and there. I love teaching. I always knew that I wanted to be a teacher. But once the pandemic hit, and I was just expected to be everything for everybody, but there was talk about, like, oh, you need to take care of yourself, you need to do this. But realistically, it was no way to do that, because everything fell on the teachers, everything, and we're getting reprimanded because no help. It was just a lot. It was a lot. And I was unhappy. I miss my students. I didn't leave because of them. I left because of the system. And this time last year, I contemplated putting myself right back in that situation, knowing that it didn't get any better. Arguably, and I was going to go back to the same school that I was working at, which was a Title I school, and it already had a lot of inequities and issues within, and different barriers. You know, my population was primarily Hispanic, and a lot of my students did not speak English. Like, there was a lot to deal with. Like, I miss my babies, and I felt bad for leaving them, but you cannot pour from an empty cup. So it was like, it took me months to make that decision to leave, but when I did, I finally felt happy and free. And was I scared? I didn't have a backup full-time job. Like, I really didn't know where the fuck I was going, but I just knew I couldn't be in that situation anymore, because I was of no service to them, and I was of no service to myself. So I left and just was like, we're going to figure it out. And I thought that I had made the right decision, which I do believe it was for me at the time. I can't beat myself up. Like, I will always say, like, oh, I would never move in with a nigga, da da da. And I did because compared to other relationships, I thought that this was the one, that this was going to be it. But this episode isn't about that, so I'm not going to talk too much about that. But I really thought that was, I thought my life would look completely different now. Like, I don't know. I don't know if I would say maybe, because I don't want to get legally married, right? But I think I probably would have gotten legally married if I was still with them. I feel like we probably would have been engaged by now. That's neither here nor there. But again, it's just like, where I am in life right now, I pictured myself somewhere else. I knew I wasn't going to be teaching. I would have been halfway through grad school, but now I'm starting grad school. But I think timing is everything, right? Because I am learning so much, and I'm seeing how so many of the dots have connected, just through, like, little things. And how my intention, what am I trying to say? Or just, I see in the power of exercising my intentions. I don't know if that makes sense. But, like, being intentional, exercising intentionality. Is intentionality a word? Well, it's gonna be a word today, because I said what I said. But so for example, like, in grad school, one of my assignments, so I'm taking 2 courses. I'm taking photography, and I'm taking professionalism and ethics. And in ethics and professionalism and ethics, we are essentially, you know, learning about what ethics are, which is like a guideline that you follow and you make decisions based off of. That's my definition of it. And what does it mean to be professional? And art therapy is like a new field. There's still, compared to other counselor positions or you know, in the field, uh, what certain ethical codes or ethical ideas looks like for us, like patient privacy, or how you present yourself, like, and how do your culture, how does that integrate with your services and how you work with other people, and in order to develop an ethical, because ethics for the most part is subjective, is really just like what is important to you. So we're exploring that in my professionalism and ethics class. And the first assignment I had to do, which if you're on Patreon you can see, I did this the night before. I don't really like it, but the assignment was to come up with a list of values. So my teacher gave us like this long list of words, and we had to, I mean, that list was long. I put that cup down on the other side of the table. I was trying to avoid the little like boom mic, even though it wasn't like a, but it was like a soft. No, maybe not. Anyway. Okay, y'all heard that like click, but you didn't hear the So she gave me this long list. Y'all on Patreon, y'all have to see how long this list is. And so I wrote down all the words all the words that I felt connected with. And then I had to narrow that down to 10. Y'all know I be talking, so obviously picking words was hard for me. So I had 38 words, and I actually narrowed it down to 9 words. And how did I do that? Thesaurus.com. I tell you, the way I just been writing for both of my classes is so, well, for photography, it's a lot of writing. But obviously with professionalism and ethics, like they're helping us build our writing skills so that, you know, eventually we do like published work and help contribute to the field, and just like get more professional with our writing. So I have to do a lot of like, you know, am I being repetitive with this word, or did I do a contraction here, and did I do this, and did it. So anyway, thesaurus.com has been my best friend. So I like looked up all the words, and I was trying to figure out what words has similar meanings and things like that. So I say all that to say, I narrowed it down to trust, grace, creativity, respect, consent, advocacy, intimacy. I'm sorry, I'm looking at the words from the actual artwork, and as you can see on Patreon, it's like my narrow graphic art that I've been doing. I was like connecting the words. So dignity, and then I wrapped all of that up with authenticity. Let me see. Going through my notes. Y'all been writing like shit, but I like writing. What did I do? Wow, it's good. Oh, okay, consciousness. I didn't put that in there. That's the word I forgot, because that definitely wasn't it. But consciousness, creativity, advocacy, grace, respect, consent, dignity, intimacy, trust, and then the overarching theme is authenticity. So I feel like by making sure that I'm keeping all of these values in mind, that I'm being my most authentic self. Yeah. So these are also some of the words that I noticed were words that I've just been repeating in general. So going back to like that intentionality piece of like reminding myself of these words and how they show up, not only in, well, what I'm learning in class now is like how am I combining the different parts of me with discernment. I'm learning so many big words. Discernment, so the ability to judge well. Because when I first started this podcast, I don't know if I actually finished that thought from earlier. I was with Tori, and she was already in the public eye as a sex worker, but I wasn't, because I had that teacher background. So I remember talking to her and talking to my friends alike. I'm really excited about starting this podcast. I don't know where it's going to go, but I do know that like the type of conversations that I have are not the type that you would expect a teacher to be having. and I'm kind of already in the public eye seen as this like professional being, right? And so what is that really going to look like? Like, how am I going to combine those different parts of me? Because my coworkers don't know this, and I'm stepping in the public eye. People that I don't know are starting to notice me, and I was very scared. Yeah, I was scared, and I didn't know how this was gonna work. Right? I knew that I could make it work, but I didn't know how. And so how that goes back to my comment earlier about just like timing. Like I'm saying all of these things, I'm thinking about it, and I didn't know how this was gonna work out. But now I'm seeing how they are. So like this time last year, I was supposed to be starting grad school, but because of the breakup, I took a year off. And in that year, that's where I found myself getting more into the sex world, stepping into this. I was a sex work advocator, which I still am because I'm now in it, and like I love it, and it's just so many beautiful people, and I've learned so many beautiful things. So I'm still obviously in that advocator role. Advocacy is my value. Okay, I don't fucking know. Words be wording, and I be making up words. So avocation is the new word of the day. But I didn't, at the time that we started it, I was like, I didn't think about actually stepping back into it, because I started out as a little baby stripper, and even then it wasn't like, oh, I hadn't touched a pole at that time. I did not think, even, what was that, 2019 I was stripping. So now, what is that? Y'all know I don't know how to do math. That's 2019 plus 1, that's 2023. So 4 years ago, I didn't think I would be here. Last year, I didn't think I would be here. But now that I started grad school at a time where I'm really diving in, and I'm learning about my values and my boundaries, because now I gotta figure out, like, how all of this, is this making sense, y'all? Because it makes okay, does it make sense in my head? Yes and no. Obviously, I'm still processing everything because it's a lot, but I'm seeing all the overlaps, and I'm like, okay, well, I want to be an art therapist. Obviously, I want to work with children. How is this gonna play out? So now I'm like, maybe I won't be working with children as much as, well, this is where discernment comes in, right? Like, obviously I'm not gonna walk up in a spot and be like, yeah, I'm a art therapist, and I be up in the club shaking ass and doing this and doing that. Like, I would never do that. But just being aware of like how I'm dressing or how I'm carrying myself in the space, in certain conversations that I choose to engage with, and when and where, and with whom. I've been really, as all of this stuff, there's been a lot of stuff coming my way, and I'm trying to process it all, and I'm getting all these great ideas, and I'm meeting all these new people, and I'm having a ball. Like, am I still stressed out? Am I still experiencing some levels of brokenness from time? Like, am I still, sometimes I wake up and I be like, damn, you couldn't just like take me out. You couldn't take me out a little bit. Like, I gotta get up and take another day. But what was I lost? How do I be losing my thoughts in the middle of my fucking sentences, bro? Like, I don't understand. But y'all get what I'm saying. Like, yeah, I'm good even when I'm not good, because I have put that trust. Trust creates peace. Here we go, making them connections. But I am putting trust in that it'll be okay, because even when I've been at my lowest last year, I didn't think I would be here. I was at one point I was reaching for my iPad so I could go, because I had made a post, and I was like, in the mini-sode this week, I was like, yeah, I'm about to make an 8th Instagram. Instagram said, nah, you already got too many. I have 7 Instagrams, right? And I was talking to my friend about why. She's like, why do you have that many? I have that many because it all started out with my original page, Simple Elegance, and it was private because I was a teacher, right? So then I made an art page because one of my tattoos, I was talking to the tattoo artist, because I'll go in with ideas, but as an artist, like, I be wanting them to come up with, I be wanting them to do their own design. Like, I'm the canvas, I'm trusting your artwork. This is my idea. I think it's like a collaboration between two. And that's something else that we're talking about in grad school in my professionalism and ethics classes. Like, when it comes to creating artwork with the client, who owns that artwork? Is it the artwork's client? Is it the artwork? Is it the client's artwork? Or does the art therapist own that? Or does it, who does it belong to the universe? Like, it's so many different, yeah. But yeah, so I was talking to him, and he was saying how he had started an art Instagram so that he could focus on his art and stop being intrigued in, I don't want to say in other people's business, but distracted by other things. Like, you know, you want to feel inspired, so he gets on Instagram and he only follows other artists. So that's what I decided to do. I was like, okay, so that became like a page. And then another page that was like kind of the same thing with my poll page, that I was posting in my story, and it became like a thing I was trying to perform for other people instead of doing it for myself. And it, you know, when these people show all this interest, but then when you make another page, like, they don't go and follow it. They want to see it there. Like, so if that piece too. So thank you to my friends that do follow all my pages. Like, and that's not a shot at anybody who doesn't. It's just like the people who are interested in what you have to offer will find you, right? And it's not always going to be your friends. I have lots of friends who follow maybe like one other page or whatever, but I don't care. It's not hurting me. I still have great conversations, and they still support me in other ways. But it's like, I say that to say, if you are somebody who is an entrepreneur, or you have an idea, or whatever the fuck, and you're not seeing your friends support you, 9 times out of 10, it's not always going to be your friends supporting you. Don't rely on your friends to support you. That doesn't mean that they're not your friends. Yeah. That's just my thought there. Anyway, how did I get there? Pages, why I have so many. Yeah, so that's, you know, and then I had started, you know, the page for the podcast, and then I have to have a backup page because, you know, they be shadow banning black content creators, and deleting pages and deleting posts and whatever. This algorithm is trash. But yeah, so I had to do that, and then I was like, well, I gotta make a Instagram because Instagram is the one that I know how to use. Like, that's my shit. Twitter, I've been off Twitter I'm back on Twitter now, but it's still just like, the muscle memory just goes straight to Instagram. It's much easier. But yeah, I was like, okay, I'm going to make an Instagram because in photography right now, I'm taking classes. Well, photography is the class, Kia. In photography, I'm trying to center all of my projects around kink. And so I've been including like the shibari rope that I've been wearing. I've been including those in my photographs. I started giggling because I also I decided to start selling jars of fart. So if you want to know the context of that, join us over here on Patreon. That is going to be in my Tales of a Sensual Dom. How did we get to jars of fart? But I started laughing because I had the I think I said this in the video that I started before I started actually recording for my listeners. But also, I need a nickname for y'all. Like, what is the listeners called? What are y'all called? Write in. Tell me what y'all want to be called. But anyway, I have a whiteboard, and I have all this stuff just like written down, because when the thoughts be coming, I just gotta jot it down. So I'm looking, and it says jars of farts and panties. And mind you, they had to come work on like my electrical panel, which is in the kitchen, and I've been cleaning. My house has been a mess, and so this was my board was over near the kitchen. And I know that man saw that thing that said jar of farts. Like, it's so much going on here. It says pole dancing, 2 scrippers, 1 pole, sensual dom services, erotic art, get LLC, blank canvases, art for sale, jars of farts and panties. Like, it's just a whole bunch of nonsense on there that I'm sure he was like, what the fuck is going on in this house? And my house was a fucking mess yesterday. When he knocked on the door, I was like on the couch. The people on Patreon can see me, but I was sprayed out, and I was butterball naked too, because it was hot as shit in here. So he knocked on the door banging. I had to like scramble to get my stuff together. Everything's everywhere. It was a little bit awkward. But anywho, yeah. So photography, I've been having fun with that, and I'm really interested in the rope. And so I started thinking about having an Instagram to promote that part of my business, and the services that I offer. But going back to, like, you know, I still keeping some parts separate. Like, I don't really promote the podcast on my art page because I still have former students that follow me there, right? And I think I'm still too heavily connected to my teacher identity, because I'm a teacher. I love teaching others what I know, and I love learning. I'm grad school. Y'all, I got an F. I got an F on assignment because I forgot to do it. I forgot. Like, I just been running around and doing shit, and I was sad. I was like, damn, because I've been getting A's in the classes, and I got that F. I was like, fuck. But I'm really, at the end of my course, I'll probably make a post with the different pictures that I took. But I've been trying to have it centered around kink, and I'm just having so much fun. I'm learning so many things. I have so many ideas, and the possibilities are endless. There's a reel that I keep seeing with J. Cole talking about, like, be delusional. And y'all, be fucking delusional. The greatest ideas come out of delusionality. I don't know if that's a word, but it's a word today. Some of the great, like, and you also have to practice self-awareness, right? When is your delusionality becoming too much, right? Or in what context is it not okay? Like, if I'm over here daydreaming that nigga is mine, but he's clearly not, like, baby, how is that delusionality at service to you? So when you're being delusional, take a moment and say, how is this delusion really serving me? What is the purpose of this delusion? Like, is it making me happy? Is it going towards one of my goals? Or is it really just, like, bringing me down? Like, I'm being delusional, like, yeah, me and this nigga gonna be together forever. Me and this person gonna be together forever. I'm gonna have his babies. I'm the only one. But meanwhile, like, he really talking to, like, 15 other bitches, you know? I'm just saying, like, some delusionality is great, right? Yeah, so photography has been great. Professionalism and ethics been great. Another assignment I had to do was on boundaries. So I was taking a look at my life, and the things that I have been asking for even since I was a little girl. So back to that intentionality piece, and not really realizing at the time. And so I just think about, like, the power of the words you use. And I've been asking for assertiveness for so long. Like, I've always had an unhealthy relationship with men, and that is because I would be delusional. Like, I would sit in my delusionality and just like, okay, well, either it's not, I would convince myself that it's not, as it really looks like my ceiling is drooping, and I don't understand why. Maybe it is. I don't know. It's okay because I'm gonna get me my house. Anyway, so I was really sitting in delusionality and just, like, convincing myself that it's not gonna get worse, or it's been worse, or this is just what I have to settle for. Like, I got to that point where I was like, this is what the world is. Oh, my tummy. That's okay, girl. Calm down. I'm hungry. Damn. know if y'all heard that, but shut the fuck up. No, like, I know I'm hungry. The fuck was I talking about? My stomach just really threw me off. Delusionality, words, assertiveness. So, I have been asking to be more assertiveness when I was in therapy, because I'm not currently in therapy. But I would talk to my therapist about, I wish I was more assertive with men, and saying, I would go one time and say, like, this is how I feel. They would kind of gaslight me or shut it down, and I was just like, oh, okay, well, that's it. Like, it is what it is. And I wasn't respecting myself or my boundaries, and clearly they weren't either, right? And so that's why I say, like, now I'm in a place where I was in a relationship that I didn't necessarily want it to be in it. And I say that only because, like, before I got in that relationship, I was like, nah, I'm gonna take a step back, I'm gonna focus on me. And then I just found myself in that relationship, and I was happy, but I settled because after the honeymoon phase was over, it was like, all right, what are we really doing here? But at that point, I had, from all the previous delusions, and my assertiveness wasn't working in the same way that it was in the beginning of the relationship. I was just like, all right, it is what it is. And I just chucked it up to, this is the rest of my life. This is the best it's been. So that's not a shot to them. Like, it's just the reality of the situation. So I was in the relationship and I was happy, but I had been saying before I got into that I was done and I was going to focus on myself. And now here I am doing exactly what I said I was going to doing. So I knew what was best for me, trusting myself. I knew what was best for me, but I let other people's fears and insecurities and whatever else cloud my judgment of what I needed. And now I'm in these courses a year later, having gone through everything that I was going through, and now I'm taking on new roles and trying to figure out, like, that discernment piece of, like, when is a good time or where is a good place to talk about this or do this, or being conscious of how I'm interacting with other people. And I've been meeting so many people, trying to assess, like, and I don't want to say, because people get so wrapped up when you talk about, oh, how's this like, relationships are transactional at the end of the day, right? You are exchanging energy with the person. Is it a situation where I'm giving and they're just taking? Like, is it 50-50 giving versus taking? Like, and it doesn't have to be 50-50, but it's like, what is what they are giving or taking from you? How is that actually benefiting you? Is it benefiting you? Is it making you feel worse? Is it making you feel like shit? Then maybe that's not a relationship you need. And just kind of being cautious about who I'm letting in my space and what I'm talking about with those people, listening to what they say and how they portray, like, what they're saying, how they're portraying themselves or how they're acting, and letting that guide how I interact with them. Does that make sense? Y'all know what I mean. But yeah, so I'm learning a lot and I'm having a great time, and so I'm all over the place. I'm like taking pole classes. I've been taking I've been signing up for classes for like, I have rope classes that I've signed up for. I've signed up for some wax classes. I'm gonna get into electroplay. And again, I'll talk more about that on Patreon. So shut the fuck up, stomach. God damn. Go to Patreon. I'm sorry, y'all. Like, this bitch is really growling. But yeah, I've been asking for assertiveness, and now I'm seeing how I have become a lot stricter on my boundaries and who I allow in my spaces. And a lot of that has also been coming from stepping into the sex world, like the focus on consent. And of course, not everything is perfect. There are some people, unfortunately, and I'm sorry that if you had a negative experience, just with anything in life, but if something, a negative or traumatic experience happened to you, I'm sending you light and love, and hope that you get better. But yeah, like, seeing how all of these different parts of me are bringing out the things I've been asking for years. I've been asking for clarity. I've been asking for assertiveness. I try my best to extend grace to others, and practicing advocacy just through sexual health, through this, like, it's nice to see dots connected. And now I'm in a space where I'm like, holy shit, I don't, and I'm seeing so many possibilities that I'm a little scared, but I'm excited at the same time, and I'm putting my trust in, like, I know it's gonna work out. Y'all, fucking the license plate thief update. I think I talked about that in bonus episode Raggedy Thief, when my phone got stolen. So back in February, I had got off the train to go back home. I had like took the train to work and came back to where my car was parked, and my fucking license plate was missing. I was like, y'all fucking buffoons, what the hell? So I had to go home, and I went back and forth with fucking DC police for 3 days trying to get a case number so that I could report my tag stolen, like, and so I wouldn't have to pay for a new thing. So the other day, I got a fucking ticket in the mail because the fucking license plate thief has been riding around Greenbelt dirty. Okay? This bitch got a motherfucking ticket. So if you drive a Dodge Durango, I am looking for your bitch ass, okay? $75 fucking dollars. So now I gotta go through all my paperwork and find the proof that my tag was stolen. Like, and it's crazy. My tag was stolen in DC, and here you are running around in my hood. Oh baby, when I find you, I just keep thinking, like, every time I see the color of the car, I be like, is that it? Is that it? Is that a Dodge Durango? Is that my license plate? Because I'm ready to just do some fucking buffoonery ass shit. Because why would you ever? Why would you ever? This motherfucker ran a red light on a fucking, if you're familiar with Greenbelt, like that intersection by Greenbelt Mall, where it's like the Exxon, the Shell, and you got Beltway Plaza, and then like Chipotle and CVS, at that fucking light, that bitch fucking ran it, and, okay. I'm getting very intense, but I'm gonna find you and I'm gonna fucking hurt you. So if you are if you just so happen to be hearing this, watch the fuck out. Your days are numbered. Yeah, Broccoli City. Back to that. Cause I brought up everything else because I bought my tickets for Broccoli City months ago, before I even knew that I was going to be starting my grad school courses during the summer. And part of the reason why I did that is because I know that I have so much going on that I'm trying to balance my workload. And so one of the courses that I'm taking now is usually offered during the semester, but they're offering it now because I think that the professor is like on maternity leave or something. And then in order to take that course, I had to sign up for another course so I can get financial aid. So that's why I'm taking 2 courses. And both of these, first of all, grad school level courses, like, it's heavy work. It's heavy work. And so a semester is usually 15 weeks. I am taking 2 15-week courses over the span of 5 weeks. So I've just been working. I be working. I make moves in silence. Hoes might never like me, and I'm fine with it nasty. I'm a real nigga fantasy. I drop dead for a broke nigga. Handle me, do say this rich energy. Y'all little hoes still drinking that Hennessy. I can't not sing that song every time. Anyway, so yeah, I was at Broccoli City with my books, sitting in the grass doing homework. I was like jamming out and then going back and forth. But yeah, so I bought these tickets before I knew I was going to be in grad school and before I saw the lineup, because as I've mentioned before, I really like live music, and I went to Dreamville was my first music festival, and I had a fucking blast. Like, Dreamville is definitely something I plan on attending every year that I can. So never been to Broccoli City, wanted to go to Broccoli City, so I did the same thing. Like, it's right here, why not? And I was supposed to go with friends, but everybody had like ticket malfunctions, weren't able to get theirs, or like something happened with the payment issue. So I was like, damn. And I was nervous to go to an event so big by myself, but I'm glad I did. Do things by yourself. Don't wait on other people to do things. If it's something you want to do, sign up for that shit. If you're uncomfortable going alone, ask other people, but don't let waiting on other people be the deciding factor if you going out. If you want to do something, fucking do it. Shut up, stomach. God. So I should probably get up and eat something. But I have, if you're watching, you see I got fucking notebooks and papers and sketchbooks and a blanket. Like, it's everything. Everything is everywhere. I should get a shirt that says that. When I start getting merch, I'll probably have one that says like, be safe, make good choices, everything is everywhere. I don't know, but if you join Patreon, you get to vote on that. We'll come up with it. Yeah, I was nervous to be in such a big space by myself. I wanted to go with other people, but it worked out because I brought my work, like I printed out stuff because I was like, I left my class early. I didn't want to sell my ticket because being in those car accidents, like, life is short. I want to experience life, but there also comes responsibility, so I was like, I'm still gonna go to this festival, and I have to make sure though, I have an assignment. I have like 6 assignments that's due by 11:59 the next day. I gotta get this work done. If I'm gonna do this, I gotta get this work done. And I know had I gone with somebody else, I wouldn't have done that. So it just worked out. It worked out in my favor that I went by myself, because I actually ran into some of my friends. Shout out to y'all. Abby, Kira, I saw y'all. I was hanging out with them, but then I was like, all right, I ain't really feeling this music no more. And that's the other thing. Like, when you're with other people, you feel obligated to be in situations that you don't necessarily care to be in to appease the other person. So I'm sitting here like, all right, I don't really know if I'm fucking with this song. I do got work to do. They obviously, like, I don't want to be their party pooper. But then I was like, Kia, you came by your fucking self. You don't have to stay with them. You don't. So I said, it was great to see y'all. Y'all enjoy your time. Maybe I'll see you later. And I walked away. And I found a spot in barely what was grass. And I got to work. I got to see Chloe. She's really pretty. She's a great performer. And that's like, Broccoli City for me, the lineup, it was a good line. So it was nice to see certain performers. That's what I like. So I know who I would be willing to go see in person. But there was really nobody I was pressed to see besides Jasmine Sullivan, Uzi, Mariah the Scientist, and those were really it. Like, I already saw City Girls at Dreamville. Of course, I just wanted to be in Keke Palmer's presence. I saw Glorilla. Well, it was just one song, but I saw Glorilla at Dreamville. Got to see like the go-go bands and stuff. I'm mad because the second day I was walking in, because since I was coming from class, I was walking in during Coco Jones' set, and I missed Fat Trail, so I was like upset about that. And I would like to see Brent Faiyaz, but to be honest, I'm not like a huge Brent fan. Like, I was okay leaving before his, and then the lighting was being ghetto, so they had to kick us out the first night. So I was content because I had already got this. Like, I wanted to see Uzi, but Drake brought him out at Dreamville, so I got to be, again, in his presence, so I was cool with that, and I was like, I would have been mad if I missed Jasmine Sullivan, but since everybody missed Jasmine Sullivan, it's cool. Yeah, but just the setup, like, I didn't know what to expect because I had never been there, and it's all parking lot. There's barely any, near the main stage, there's barely any grassy spaces. It's like islands of grass, so, the next time I go to Broccoli City, I will wait until the lineup comes out to see if it's worth it to go, because all that standing, they need to let people bring lawn chairs in or something, because standing on that hot, in the heat, on the asphalt, like, bitches' backs is broke, okay? I need to sit down somewhere, and this floor is not giving cushion. So yeah, I need to see what the lineup looks like. Is it worth being outside in the heat or the elements? And I'll probably get a VIP package. I probably would do that, because they got like tables and sections. But like something like Dreamville, I would get a regular, like the space is nice. I had a good seat and everything. It was so many people there, but it still didn't feel crowded and uncomfortable. It was so much walking. Like, they really need to find another interest too, because So both days I walked, over the span of the 2 days, I walked like at least 6 miles. At least 6 miles, y'all. I don't be walking, okay? So my calves is getting right. And it was like raining. The second day, I got there, and so my dumbass, like when you get the festival bracelets, you're not supposed to tighten them until it's time to wear them, because once they tighten, they don't open back up. So I knew this already from Dreamville, but as I'm reading, like I opened the package and I was reading a little card about like how to activate your bracelet and stuff, and I'll get to playing with it. My dumbass tightened it, so it was only wide enough to fit on my 2 fingers. Come to Patreon and see what I'm doing. But anyway, it's only wide enough. I'm grabbing my fingers like a dick. This is crazy. It was only wide enough to fit on my 2 fingers. And I was like, damn, they were gonna try to make me pay $20 for a new bracelet. Fuck no, it still worked. Why would I pay $20 for that shit? So the first day, luckily, they weren't paying attention, and I held it on my lanyard and just like tapped it, and they let me in. But the second day, this man, he must have literally spotted me from a mile away, because I barely walked into the first kind of round of lines you walk through where you start throwing away like water bottles and shit. This man, I don't know where the fuck he came from, but he tapped me. He's like, yeah, you can't get in with that. You need to go get another bracelet to put on your arm. You got to wear it. I'm like, where the fuck did you come from, first of all? Second of all, they let me in yesterday. He was like, well, we not doing that today, da-da-da, whatever. So he was like extra pressed, because I was like, all right, bro. So I tried to walk away. He's like, nah, you got to exit. Nigga, I'm exiting. Can you get the fuck away from me like this? So I go. I get my bracelet. They charge me $10 fucking dollars. As I'm paying for my bracelet, why the fuck does it just start pouring, raining out of nowhere? Everybody's looking, everybody's screaming, people are running, like it just starts pouring down, raining. Mind you, I was in like biker shorts, I had on a crop top, and I had fucking Crocs with socks on. That's it. And I had my sketchbook with me, and then like my little crossbody bag. I was like, what the fuck? So at this point, I'm already here. And mind you, I'm still actively trying to work on homework, which I was doing on my phone and on paper. It's fucking raining. So I'm like, all right, not getting no work done. So now I'm like, well, do I go home or do I just stick it out? But I had planned to stay there the second day, because the first day I had stayed the whole time till they kicked us out. The second day I was like, all right, well, I see how it was, and for real, it's not too many people that I want to see today. I had kind of already missed, like I missed Trail, I missed Coco Jones. So I was like, I'm going to just stay through. I said I was going to stay through Mariah the Scientist set, but then when Glorilla came out, I started leaving as she was performing. So I was like, all right, I'm not going to leave. I'm not going to stay that long anyway. I'll just stand in the rain. It is what it is. But luckily, as I started walking in, it stopped raining. But yeah. Then I forget. Oh, Keke Palmer was singing I'm Sprung. And it just got like, I was jamming, right? But it made me think about, I was in like, I think I was in elementary school when I'm Sprung came out. And I really didn't have no business singing that. And I also had no business on MySpace. Like, I was really thinking about, like, we be talking about how the kids don't need to be on Instagram right now, because they don't. They, like May said, bring Bebo back. Like, we need a platform for kids. And all that, what was the one with the penguins? I didn't play that. Like, my internet was slow. My mom we wasn't doing all that. But, like, you know, they had different platforms for kids and chat rooms and stuff. Bring that back, because I had no business being on fucking MySpace, and y'all have no business being on Instagram. But that's the reality of it. So that's where, you know, parenting comes in, being cautious of like what you are really allowing. Obviously, you can't be perfect and protect them from everything, but practicing discernment with them, the ability to judge well, like instilling those values and those practices in your children, so that they can make safe and good decisions for themselves, because children are a lot smarter and skillful than we give them credit for, and so make sure that you're leading them correctly. Yeah, walking in Walking into Broccoli City, there was this dude outside. It was so funny. He had like the shirts. And them vendors, I tell you, the outside vendors and the ticket scalpers, they be on it. Like, tickets, I got tickets for sale. Who's selling tickets? Da, 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 da. And this one dude, he was like, I got inside shirts, outside price. Inside shirts, outside price. That shit was hilarious. Like, yeah. Let me see. What else do I have to say? I was walking, was sweating. Yeah. I don't know if I finished the thought. No, I still didn't finish the thought, y'all. I don't think I did. So trying to figure out how like all these different parts of me were gonna come together. I also decided I had a revelation, epiphany, whatever you want to call it. But after I get my art therapist licensure, I'm also going to get my sex therapy certification. So another avenue of me connecting the dots, because I was nervous of like, well, you know, if I'm stepping into this art field and I'm doing shit that involves sex, like what does that look like? And just, yeah, so just another way to connect the dots. But I brought that up because I was like, I was going to start this next Instagram for like my Dom identity, because I didn't want too much crossover of certain things on my main page, because I'm going to be pulling different, like my main page is going to attract other people that I might not necessarily like, more professional spaces, or relationships that I'm seeking. And the current job that I work in, you know, the space that I'm in currently, like trying to protect some of the spaces that I'm currently in, because I know that they are not as open or accepting to some of the things that I talk about, or some of the places that I've put myself in now. So I was just trying to kind of keep them separate while keeping them together. And this was a conversation I was having with Tori and other friends of like, I'm stepping out into the public eye and I just know it's so much. How am I gonna make this work? Because when I was teaching, I had to keep those identities private for fear of retaliation. Like I didn't want to be the next teacher on the news. It's like, oh, Kia Paxton, she has OnlyFans and she's doing this, and then you know I'm black, so they're gonna try to find the craziest photo of me. I was trying to avoid that, but now I'm like, I'm not in that space anymore, so I don't have to have that same like fear. And I was like, Kia, there's ways to make your main page just like, I mean, that's who I am. That's where you can find me. That's where most of my concentration is at. And I've been doing that, like, you know, I've been making more posts that are more about sexual advocacy and all of that. And a lot of people in that world have started following me. And I was like, oh no, I need to make this other page so I can kind of keep them like separate. But keep them separate for what? Like, this is me. This is who I am. And I'm embracing that. Being authentic. One of my values, authenticity. How am I being authentic to myself, being my best self, in making sure that I'm moving in a way that upholds my values. Yeah. Oh, one more thing on Broccoli City. So it was when I had it was the second day. I was sitting down during one of the sets because I didn't know who was up there, and I think maybe it was like a set change, or I don't know. But I was sitting down, and whoever was on the mic, it was some DJ. They were trying to get people to step back. That's another thing. When you go to festivals, y'all be getting upset when the people on a mic or when like the artists be stopping music to tell y'all to back up. Why are y'all pressed to be in the front? Like, there's thousands of people, and God forbid something goes down at an event that you're at, like, and if something does, please remember to breathe. Like, breathing through high intense moments, like even when you're having sex and it's like, oh my god, I'm about to come, oh my god, like you want to bust that nut, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you breathe, then it's like you get to experience the nut. Like, it's 10 times better. Like, if you're clenching and trying to kick and hold your breath, I'm telling you, just check in and that exhale. Oh, baby. Oh my God. It's amazing. Amazing. So when you're in intense situations, please try to remember to breathe. Always easier said than done. But if you start throughout the day, start doing like randomly. When you think about it, focus on your breathing. Maybe put your hand on your chest, hand on a poom poom, or the pee wee, or maybe not even there, whatever. But if you just like, it brings you back in. It reels you back in, and it helps you see what your next steps are, and figure out your best plan of exit or whatever is relevant to that situation. So yeah, remember to breathe if you're in it, and y'all be so pressed to be up in the front, right? If I'm at like a small concert venue, I'm more likely, like when I saw Jesse, when I saw Smino, when I saw Masego, I was right there up in the front. Like I needed them to see me, because I just needed them to see that I love y'all. If you're listening to or watching this, I can't wait for the opportunity to meet you again. I can't wait. But speaking into existence, right? But yeah, so like something like that I'm more comfortable with because it's a smaller venue, which means there's a little bit less people. It's still nerve-wracking, and I still try to create space just to be aware, and that's why I no longer drink at music festivals. Like, yeah, I'll smoke, but I won't drink because I just don't want to completely lose my awareness. And so in a festival, it's thousands of people there. Why do you want to be in front and y'all be like pushing people trying to get to the front? You can find a different section where you have space to move. You don't need to see them on stage. Or you can find, like, if it's a vantage point where you're standing, you can see them on stage, you can see the big screen. Like, y'all be mad and it be hot, like niggas be passing out and y'all be mad, but y'all be contributing to it. Back the fuck up. Bring water. And y'all wrong. Like, I will say some of the festivals be wrong because the water just be like, you gotta really go out the way. It's not always feasible. Or y'all don't have like water bottle stations. Y'all really need to stop charging people for water bottles. Y'all really do. Like, yes, I understand, invest in some water that's recyclable if that's part of the reason. Like, and yes, I know that that's more expensive, but y'all really be making money because it be niggas there. So y'all got the money to invest in giving free water to people. But you know, if you're listening and you're in charge of a festival, y'all need to do that. But making sure you're drinking water and leave space for people. Remember to breathe, right? But why did I start telling this? Oh yeah. So I was sitting down. I couldn't see the stage because, again, it wasn't something I was interested in, and I was trying to get my work done. But the MC, he was telling people to back up, and he had pointed out this white dude in the crowd, and I couldn't see him because they also didn't have the camera on. But he was like, "Oh, that white dude right there, them glasses, you look like a cop." Right? So I thought it was funny that he said that. Fast forward, during Mariah the Scientist's set, they started showing the crowd, and I immediately know who they was talking about. It was nigga. He had the glasses on, and it bright as day. I was like, that nigga do look like a cop. And they kept like, and I don't know if the cameraman was trying to be funny, if it was just a coincidence, but when I peeped the shit, I was dying laughing. They kept showing this man. It was funny. But yeah, okay. I've gone on for an hour now, and I do have to get up and go to work. So, thank you. Mango's message. Let me see, because I got a sound effect for that, but I haven't actually put that on my oh, it's not. It's on my hard drive, so maybe the next episode. But I have a sound effect for that, and I'll actually have it on my playlist so that I can do it. But yeah, my message for the week: have trust in yourself. Have trust in the universe, even if you're not like. It's people get so like tied up on specific words or religion or whatever the case may be. You know, words have power. Be conscious of the words that you're using, and making sure that they're of service to you. Or how can, you know, you're saying this, but how what are your values? What are your boundaries? How are you instilling those in moving with the intention of those, if that makes sense? Trust in yourself, trust in the process, it'll get better. It might not always, like, going back to that assertiveness thing, because I don't know if I completed that thought, but even if I did, like, it was still I think a meaty, valuable thought. Like, I've been asking for assertiveness since I was a little girl, which was part of my assignment. Like, I included 3 different pictures of myself, like little Kia in college, and then like Kia now, and I've just been asking to be more assertive for years. I talked about it in therapy, and see I saw it for myself, but I didn't believe it for myself, because everything that I was experiencing, for lack of a better word, or maybe it is the right word, contradicted it was contradicting what I was asking for. But now it finally happened. Like, things, if you believe in it enough, if you keep practicing towards it, it will come. It will come. And you won't see, everything happens for a reason. I do believe that. And, no matter what you believe in, you're not going to have something put on your plate for no reason. There's something that's going to come out of it. So today might be hard, tomorrow might be hard, next week, next year, maybe the next couple of years, the past couple of years have been hard, but this is, take a moment to kind of to self-reflect and hold yourself accountable. What role do you play in why some things may be happening or may not be working out? What role do you play in all of that? Yeah. Follow us, subscribe on YouTube, Patreon. Go get some toys. Everything's 2 scrippers, 1 pole. Yeah, that's it. That's all, I believe. Y'all know, because let me see. I go through this every time, and even when I have it written down, I still don't be getting it. Okay, I said YouTube, I said Patreon, I said Balesa. I think that's it. Yeah, that's really it. That's really all. Y'all be safe, make good choices.